Oh, Krellian. And the Ministry. What do you mean he's still alive? Yes. Ridiculous. Didn't Ramses shoot him down? She was also on the gear that Ramses shot down. I won't have her die. But there's already a mother. Although she may be the anti-type as long as the current mother exists. As far as I see it, that's not complete. Quite picky, aren't you? Didn't you say you threw away all human emotions? I don't care what you think anyway. As far as he's concerned, I'll put Ramses onto him. Any objections? Where is he presently? Entronank is destroyed, but part of the memory cube is still active. We should still be able to locate the individuals. Destroy all the save points. We're gonna rely on save states. Wait a moment, he has left the crash site and is heading towards Ignis. I see, so he's left the area. That means it's only a matter of time before the seal is broken. Did you say something? It's nothing. Just sit there and wait for the good news. What about retrieving the girl? The key's already beginning to resonate. The time of the resurrection is near. We can get the girl any time. It doesn't have to be now. Let's take our time. On my way to Ignis, I re-encountered him. Karin Ramses. Ramses once again stood in my way in his Omni gear, Vendetta. It was an unavoidable battle. I realized a new function that was added to my Mark II gear, System ID. I get to beat up Ramses again? Don't mind if I do. Okay, that's pretty sick. I do like that. Yeah, we're just in a battle. Ooh, hoo, hoo. We got a couple of new options here. ID mode for 3 turns. I think ID mode is like it's like a last resort kind of deal. It's like it has some drawback. I don't remember what it is though. Your attack on anyone. Let's try Thor Wave. See how that does. Oh, that's really sick actually. He just Hadokens. Oh baby. I think I definitely would have done more, but still pretty good. Ow. Ramses is very mad. As you can see, he has a vendetta against Faye, which what else is new? But even more so. Oh, attack level infinite. Interesting. Really? Okay. Can only use like one of these? Why are these all missing? Here, try to be good, challenge impossible. Alright, so maybe I can't hit him now. Hit me up. Give me System ID. Maybe I'm already in System ID. Maybe the game put me in it. Building up power! Mega Flare? Oh dear. He's Bahamut now. That hurt. Can I hit you, please? You need to stop missing. Maybe he's countering, though. I hate fighting Ramses. Like, normal Ramses and gear Ramses. It's always really annoying. Can I hit you? Oh, he's guarding now. Or is it when he's guarding I hit him? Okay, you hit him when he's guarding. That's super misleading. Oh, that looks awesome. I love that. ID mode is pretty cool. I dig it. So when he's guarding, you hit him. When he's not, you don't. That seems weird, but okay. So now I need to, like, not hit him. Might as well give myself another heal. Blaze pose. Amass power to attack. Yeah, so I gotta hit him now. Oh, but I don't have infinite anymore because I'm not in System ID anymore. That sucks. You wanna spam ID mode for this? I don't remember. I think you wanna spam ID mode. Maybe not spam it, but you wanna use it. Ow. another one of these. I'm gonna take 1,000, but I think it's worth it. So I was hitting him at the wrong time, which, you know, checks out. Go 10x! Really love that. That's such a cool animation. Give me another turn, please. Oh, let's go. Posho X. Oh, that one's also really cool. Alright, we got him. Ramses' absolute confidence was shattered, leaving only his cry of disbelief and resentment. Ramses' machine disappeared into a sea of foliage. Why was he so fixated on me? I know not why, but he did say this. If only you didn't exist. Well, that was brief. Okay, so, like, I feel like this is a good time to talk about it. Because I think enough of Disc 2 has happened. So, this is kind of how Disc 2's pacing is gonna go. Basically. We have these chair scenes that talk about some exposition. Every now and then you'll be put in some location. Boss fights are gonna be pretty abrupt. At times they can just throw you into boss fights and they'll just, like, narrate you going through what could have been a dungeon. Now, this is where the budget, like, fell flat. Because I googled this the other day just to make sure I was correct, but Takahashi was nearing the end of Disc 1's development, and I think by the time Disc 1 ended, they were considering ending the game at Disc 1. And since we all saw Disc 1's ending, they obviously could not end the game at Disc 1. That would have been a huge cliffhanger. So, the gist of it is, Takahashi had two choices, or the team had two choices. They can either finish the game at Disc 1, which would have been heavily unsatisfying, or they could have finished the story, but they had to condense a lot of Disc 2. So I think they focused on prioritizing the story and getting the story done, but at the cost of, like, taking out dungeons. There are not many dungeons in Disc 2, so things that could have been dungeons are going to be, like, little narrations, kind of like we just had when we fought Ramses there. And having these, like, chair scenes with the lore dump, basically. So this is, you know, I think it was more so, like, at the end of Disc 1, they realized their ambitions were getting the better of them. And I think there was something about them having a time they had to meet, but also, like, I don't know if their budget was starting to, like, fall flat, and they were like, well, we're not going to make another Disc 1-sized disc, because, like, that'd be a lot. So they realized their ambitions were getting the better of them. Something like that. I might be a little off there. But the bottom line is, it was either finish the game with Disc 1, or finish the story, but at the cost of Disc 2 being like this. How do I feel about it? Stay tuned to find out. In order to disperse the nanomachines, Emeralda and I headed for one of the ruins of the Zeboim civilization, the mass driver facility. Fortunately, the facility was still active, which allowed us to proceed out on to the central control room with little difficulty. Along the way, we saw various missiles and giant rockets that were created during the Zeboim era. They stood like tombstones of that ancient civilization. It was a graveyard for a race of people who destroyed each other, pride and arrogance. Yeah, see this? You see Ellie and Emeralda? This would have been a dungeon. I would like to think this would have been a dungeon in a fully realized Disc 2. Like, this would have been a dungeon we had to go through with Ellie and Emeralda. They didn't consider doing a sequel? Yeah, I feel like they could have done a sequel. They could have done Xenogears 1, end it at Solaris, and then Disc 2 could have been the second game. They definitely could have went that approach. I don't really know why I don't know the reasoning why they didn't consider that, or maybe they didn't, I don't know. Maybe there was a specific reason why they didn't want to do a sequel. Because that seems like the best way to break it up. Once arriving at the central control room, we met up with Saiton, who helped us activate the mass driver. I forgot to read the second part of that. It was on screen long enough, though. Yeah, so, you know, This is the Dis 2 standard. Now, oddly enough, there's not many, there is some side quests in Disc 2. I think there's 2 optional dungeons that are important that we were gonna do. So there is some side content in Disc 2, despite this pacing. It's snow. Looks like snow. Yeah, I guess that's a good reason. Maybe they didn't know how the first game would do. I guess that's like the only logical explanation. I really can't think of anything else that would just be like, oh, we don't want to do a sequel. I guess that's a good reason though. If they're like, oh, we don't know how the first game will do, so we really want to get it done in one. But like basically the choice was ending it at Disc 1 or getting through the story. Getting through the story, but cutting some stuff. So, like, when a lot of people say that Xenogears it has cut content, sure, but, like, the story is complete, but they do have a couple of holes in it. But they kind of had to. They cut out, like, all the fat, I guess, of what makes an RPG. But, like, the story is more or less complete. Even though it has a lot of holes. And also there's Perfect Works, which is why I recommend reading Perfect Works after going through Xenogears once. Or concurrently with it, but ideally after going through it. Because Perfect Works does fill in a lot of gaps, and it's especially noticeable in Disc 2. It especially fills in a lot of stuff in the second disc. Because the second disc is basically just trying to get through its story, because they spent so much time and budget with Disc 1, which is nice, but because of that, Disc 2, they had to cut short. So like with Disc 2, they're very much trying to just get their story, they're trying to get the main point across. I feel like playing Xenogears, you get the main point. You get the gist of the story, you get the overall premise. The nanomachines that were scattered into the upper atmosphere began to multiply and spread throughout the whole of the world. The nanomachines glittered in the sunlight, flowing like a large river in the sky. That glitter would remove the bonds restraining everyone. It was to be our last light of hope for regaining back our true freedom. Solaris' mobile surface supremacy weapon invaded the area with great force. Shiva and Nissan's standard gear battalions were no match against it. It was only a matter of time before the Solaris mobile weapon arrived in Nissan. After we pushed back the Solarian gear units, we headed for Nortune to the Kislev capital's administrative district. We went there to obtain our one and only means of standing up against a mobile weapon. Save current data! It's such a weird spot to put a save. I think we're about to hit a boss, but still, it's so weird. There's a lot of people who say, like, there are people who, like, do not like Disc 2 because of the shift in pacing, and, like, I understand that, because it is jarring. Like, objectively, it is jarring, going from Disc 1 to this. So, you know. Continue the game. I mean, yeah. The Kislev capital's Nortune's central administrative district itself was a secret battleship constructed by Bart's ancestor, Roni Fatima, after the Great War with Solaris many hundreds of years ago. The existence of the secret battleship remained hidden. Later, the ship was turned into a section of the Kislev Imperial capital during the founding of the Empire. Uncovering this truth from some ancient records, Bart activated the secret battleship in order to fight against the Solarian mobile surface supremacy weapon. The sand cruiser Yggdrasil was actually the center of command and also the main secret weapon of the craft. Awakening from 500 years ago of dormancy, its true form appeared before us. commanded by its new master, the secret battleship, stood before the mobile weapon with all of us inside of it. Yeah, if you thought disc one was a lot of reading, dang, disc 2. The thing is, disc 2 is shorter than disc 1, but 95% of disc 2 is reading. So you know. Hi. How's it going? Also, it's like a different kind of reading, because I feel like, the thing is, I'm very mixed on how I feel about Disc 2 as a whole, because there's some areas where I'm like, I'm okay with it, but there's some areas where I'm like, yeah, it's a huge miss for this reason. Super Dimensional Gear, Idrisul number 4. Alright, transformation complete. Why is it pink? Come on, monster, let's go. Hey, Bart, what's poppin'? 99,000. Oh, am I watching this? Am I not playing it? Okay, no, I think you attacked me. Ow. Because in Disc 2, you're doing more like narrations, also, is what I was gonna say. You're doing more like, it's more reading in like the form of like a novel. Shot at? Oh, baby. I only have 500 fuel? Did that take, like, all my fuel? How much did that take? Holy cow, 9,000? Whoopsie. They also didn't give me max fuel, though. I think oh no, they did give me max fuel. I just used 9,000 of it. That's insane. Whoopsie. Might need to redo this fight. Or I can just charge and eventually get attacking. Ow. Get him, Bart. Was it dead? Oh, it's dead. Okay. Level 60.